All right, welcome back, Last Request Barbecue Show. It has been a minute since my last on-camera live shoot, but it's been busy. I've done, as you've probably seen, thank you all for subscribing and following. I've done lots of shorts, done some inside stuff, done some above camera stuff, done all kinds of different things, but now kind of getting back to regular scheduled programs, so to speak. And the next couple of episodes are dedicated to Daniel Vaughn, who is the editor of Texas Monthly Magazine, just published the top 50 barbecue joints in Texas, several of which I've been to, and I had the opportunity to interview Daniel for the Food Professor podcast. I'll put a link in the show notes for that. Go and check out. It's a fantastic interview, very magnanimous with his time, and lots of great insights. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is start cooking some recipes with products, new partners, and also inspired by my visits to Texas in the spring. So we're starting today with Barb's BQ. So if you follow the show, you'll know that I had visited Lockhart, Texas. I was in Austin, drove to Lockhart, Texas. Not my first time in Lockhart, but new to Lockhart was Barb's BQ. Chuck was very magnanimous, sat down with me after service on a Sunday. She's open Saturday, Sundays, and we did a great interview. Again, I'll put some links into that. What inspired me is her green spaghetti. What we're making today is Texas green spaghetti. Let's get started. All right, so you can see my mise en place is pretty straightforward, pretty simple. So you may have had other green spaghettis before, let's say north of the Pecos or north of Texas. I'm making the Texas version, and I first enjoyed this, and really the only time I had this particular kind of green spaghetti at Barb's in Lockhart, Texas. And so what's different about it? Well, I made artichoke pastas. You know, some friends have put some other things in, parsley and whatever, to turn it green. Sure, great. What we're going to do, you can see I've got poblano peppers, beautiful poblano peppers. Not the easiest thing to find actually in these parts. And jalapeno peppers. Easy to find in these parts. And we're going to smoke them. We're going to smoke them for about 45 minutes. And I'm also going to open up this head of garlic. We're going to smoke this head of garlic as well. We're going to let that go for 45 minutes. Really, that and a bunch of cilantro together with some seasonings from one of my new partners, Smokin' John. John I met at a Seattle show, and he gave me a ton of his stuff, sauces and spices, so I'm going to feature them. This one is his pasta and pizza mix, so I'm going to augment a little bit. In the original recipe was like a brick of cream cheese, which for me was just a bit too heavy. So instead, I'm going to cut it with 50-50 cream. There it is, grass-fed 50-50. Really, it's the flavor of the smoke, the poblanos and the jalapenos mixed together. I'm going to add a head of garlic. I'm not sure if it calls to that, but I like a nice smoked garlic as well. With the cilantro, do up the pasta. So let's get these things cooking for about 45 minutes at 425 with Pitmaster pellets on the Yoder. Now for our garlic, obviously, I'm not going to put it in like that. I'm going to cut the top off. Comme ça. There we go. Eventually it's all going to go in the blender, so you don't need to be too fine about it. Anyway, this is how I like to roast my garlic. Into that, I'm actually going to put some olive oil. Chuck Hughes olive oil going, of course. Nice fresh Greek olive oil. Give it a nice little basting. There we go. I'm going to put some Texas pepper. What is Texas pepper? Well, you'll see in a future show I went down to see Chud's, and I went behind the scene at Chud's and got some of his products, and this is 16 mesh pepper. So I'm going to put some 16 mesh pepper on, which is a bit of a secret tell. Let's start with some 16 mesh pepper. Beautiful. And then I'm going to put Chud's AP. And I once again got this in Austin. Met the fine folks there. I'll be another show about that. Anyway, just a little bit of flavor. And again, let's get this all over to the Yoder. All right, got the Yoder up and going to 425. It's smoking hot. I'm just going to put this right on and put these peppers, poblano peppers and the jalapenos right on. I'm going to turn them kind of midway. I'm going to leave them on for about 45 minutes. I want them nice and smoky. And there we go. Voila. All right, these have been cooking away for 40 minutes or so, and let's take a look. Oh yeah, these are ready. Now what I'm going to do is put these, you can put them in a plastic bag. I'm going to put these in here, let them sweat a little bit, cover it up with some aluminum foil. That's looking pretty good. I'm just going to turn it off, and that way the temperature will go down and it'll be fine, but I'm going to leave it in there. All right. Leave that there, and we'll turn this to shutdown mode. The remaining heat will be fine. It'll just kind of bring it all down, and then into the mixer it goes. Almost there. Let's see, is our water boiling? All right. All right, pasta's going in the salty water. We've got our beautifully caramelized garlic. Now, again, this is not strictly called for in the recipe, but I like a good garlic in mine, so I like it maybe more garlicky than Chuck did, but that's my own little spin. A little bit of garlic, and then we're going to put some cilantro in, which I've already rinsed. Gonna just rough chop. All right, put our cilantro in, and then let's take a look at our peppers. Ah, perfect. Doot, doot. So our peppers have turned out. So let's just get these cut and trimmed, and then de-seeded. And then I'll take some, oh yeah, so you can take some of the skin right off. There you go. Look at the way that skin just peels off because it's been sitting there. Beautiful. It doesn't always work out for me, but I'm kind of happy it did this time. And then I'm going to de-seed. And then just throw them in. Get as many of these seeds as I can out of here. One more poblano. I put 4 in here, 4 good-sized poblanos. Alright, and then we do our jalapenos. Same thing. Get those seeds out. That adds the heat and the pop of heat. And we'll put a bit of 50-50 in here. Rolling meadow, 50-50 grass-fed. Alright, there it is. Smokin' John's pizza and pasta. Whew, heat's coming out of there. Let's give it a taste. Mmm, oh, delicious. It's got a kick. Whew. It's got a kick. I think it needs a little more cream, actually. Once again, in Chuck's version, there is cream cheese, but I'm gonna prefer on the cream cheese. All right, let's take a look. Check that out. Look at that greenness. All right. Now we just gotta wait for our pasta to be ready. Then we're good to go. All right, our pasta is drained. Reserve a little water. And then I just leave this on an angle. Lets the pasta drain. Perfect. Pasta water I'm just gonna throw in the ground verity. That's there. I'm gonna reserve a little bit. I feel like I need to thin it out, but I think we're in pretty good shape. All right, let's get the pasta in here. And then we mix in the magic. All right, here we go. Nice. Then we mix saucy. Beautiful. Super simple, right? Like, it's not that hard. I'm gonna add a little bit of pasta water, but not much. Once again in the Texas, there we go. Once again in the Texas version, there's cream cheese, which is way too heavy. Smells amazing, check it out. All right, let's plate it up, get some more shots. Okay, like I said, it's been a minute since I shot my last episode live on camera and forgot that the mics just ran out of power. So anyway, we'll finish off with this little voiceover narrative. So I've plated the pasta with a bit of Parmigiano Reggiano, lots of it actually, a little bit of parm, and I'm having it with a delicious Austrian red wine, which I discovered thanks to the EU. Anyway, so delicious meal. I told you like half a dozen times that I didn't put cream in it, but it's still creamy. It's just got that burst of smoke, a little bit of garlic, not a lot of seasonings, right? Like, it's a pretty simple meal. It's got a little bit of kick. Try this at home. Super easy. Impress your friends. It's just a Texas taste on a traditional meal. And by the way, if you're ever in Lockhart, Texas, go to Barb's BQ, see Chuck. She's doing amazing work there. There's a couple other great places there that you can visit as well. Go to Mill Scale. They've got a great factory there. If you're in the whole barbecuing scene, it's not a restaurant, but a factory anyway. See ya.